Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal goes down this weekend. Main event. We have 2 other title fights. We have Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas and Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. An excellent main event. It's a rematch from whenever, like a year ago or something. Kamaru Usman fights Jorge Masvidal. Initial thoughts on the fight, not in terms of like is it deserving, because we all know it's probably not deserving right now for Jorge Masvidal. But do you see him being able to make adjustments in this one?
No, probably. I just think Kamaru's better than him. I just think he has the skill set that gets it done.
Yeah.
It's not a rematch I'm terribly excited about. I don't see this one going particularly differently to the first fight. I'll be interested to hear from anyone who does think it might go differently. I personally don't. Do you?
Not really. One thing I will say is, last time we spoke about this fight, we were talking about how the last fight for Jorge Masvidal was technically a short notice fight, but all reports and everything that he said and everything that his camp said, he was in training. Like Dustin Poirier came out and said, well, he's been in training and he's in good shape and whatever. I went back and rewatched it and he looked in good shape, didn't look in phenomenal shape. Yeah. And also, we need to think about the fact that we speak about this all the time. Fighters are going to say the best things before the fight. So was there a little bit of that? Was there a little bit of Jorge Masvidal saying, oh yeah, I was in camp before the fight, and actually lying about it and not lying after and saying, oh, I wasn't really training, because he kind of changed his tune afterwards. But I wonder if he wasn't actually in the best of shape, because he was a little bit tired in the second round. I don't know if that will change anything, to be honest. I think the biggest chance for him is if Kamaru Usman, who put in a phenomenal performance against Gilbert Burns last time, falls in love with his striking a bit too much, because as we saw,
kind of seen that.
We have seen that before. We have seen that throughout the history of the sport. These wrestlers, they fall in love with their hands. And I mean, some great hands to fall in love with based on his last fight, and probably easy to fall in love with them hands based on his last fight. But it's definitely not the best route to victory for Kamaru Usman. We've seen what he can do on the floor or in the clinch with Masvidal, go for those foot stomps. But we've seen what he can do there. If he stands with Masvidal, I think Masvidal has a bit of a chance. And I wouldn't be that surprised if he did. But I think he will play the odds, and I think he will go for takedowns, go for the clinch. I think Masvidal will be able to retain his energy a little bit better and manage his energy a little bit better this time, that he won't be completely dominating like as early as he was. But I still don't see him taking many rounds. He might take one. He might take the first round, but I think that's it. I think it's going to be a decision win for Kamaru Usman.
Yeah. My opinion on the fight camp stuff, I mean, we say this all the time. Jesus Christ, you can't believe a word fighter say pre-fight, really. I suspect Masvidal was, the way I'd probably describe it is, I suspect he was probably tipping away, doing a bit of training, keeping himself busy more than that. And I doubt he was fight camp type level stuff.
Yeah.
And we kind of seen that where he did tire a little bit. I mean, he went 5 rounds, so he wasn't in bad shape.
Yeah. Just wasn't in phenomenal shape.
Yeah. I don't think that particularly makes a big difference. I think that's a really good point you made there. I think the biggest thing that really stops Kamaru winning this fight is ego. And just falling in love with his striking, like you say. And we've kind of seen it a little bit. I mean, Gilbert Burns is probably a different type of threat, where Kamaru probably feels he can stand with him a little bit more than he maybe can with Jorge. So I think that's probably worth mentioning as well.
And he had a sweet round game as well, Gilbert. He probably wanted to avoid that. Yeah,
I mean, Kamaru is well aware of Gilbert. It's a different dynamic there just because of the history they have. So I'm not sure. I mean, Usman knows how to play the odds, so I would expect a similar game plan to the first fight.
I think the point of ego as well is good, because Usman did ask for this fight. He was the one that actually asked for it, which is kind of interesting. So like, I wonder if he wants to go in here and put a more dominant performance on to kind of shut people up. I mean, if he goes in there and does the exact same performance, gets the win, that's good. 2 times, I think you've closed the book on that. But the reaction from the fan base is going to be, boring Usman and all this. That's what it's going to be. It is. So I think
in it as well.
Exactly, and I think Usman will want to avoid that, and that's the only way I see him standing with Masvidal. But he should be smart, I mean, he has Trevor Whitman in his corner, right? I think he also has Francis Ngannou.
Francis Ngannou, yeah.
So Francis will probably be like, "Here, just fucking windmill at him."
Yeah. Francis smash.
Yeah, exactly. But imagine we saw him like a similar, like Francis versus Rosenstruck. Usman just wading across the cage, just fucking landing these big shots. That'd be great crack. But yeah, we're both picking Usman decision.
Yeah. I haven't looked at the price in this one, but I do wonder if there's probably less so, maybe it was probably more an angle to take in the first fight, but I do wonder maybe if there's a late finish there for Usman.
Well, I'll say the odds would be decent on that.